The strange thing is this: the more available you become, the less people value you. Think about it. You reply instantly. You always show up. You always say yes. And slowly, without a word being spoken, people start treating you as if your time means nothing. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. He commanded armies. Yet he warned of something far more dangerous than enemies. He warned us about giving ourselves away too easily. Because the moment people believe your time has no cost, they stop respecting it. And when they stop respecting your time, they stop respecting you. This isn't about being cold. It isn't about being arrogant. It's about understanding a brutal truth of human nature. What is always available is never valued. And if you don't set boundaries for your time, the world will decide your worth for you. Act 1. Marcus Aurelius and the Hidden Truth. The strange thing is this: the more available you become, the less people value you. Think about it for a moment. You reply instantly. You always show up. You rearrange your life for others. You say yes even when something inside you wants to say no. And slowly, quietly, without anyone ever saying it out loud, something changes. People begin to treat your time as if it costs nothing. And when something has no cost, it has no value. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. He commanded armies, governed millions, and held absolute power. Yet he lived with ruthless discipline over one thing above all else: his time. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say. Pause here. Say it with me slowly. My time is my life." Marcus understood something modern society has forgotten. Availability without boundaries destroys dignity. If the most powerful man in the world guarded his time carefully, why do we give ours away like it's worthless? Here is the hidden truth. People do not disrespect you because you are kind. They disrespect you because you make yourself endlessly accessible. When you are always available, something dangerous happens. Not loudly, not aggressively, but instinctively. The human brain runs on shortcuts. Scarcity equals value. Abundance equals disposable. Neuroscience confirms this. Studies show that people assign up to 50% more value to things that require effort or delay. What is always available is unconsciously perceived as less important, even if its quality is high. So when you answer immediately, cancel your plans, and make yourself constantly reachable, the message you send is simple: my time is negotiable. People may never say it, but they think he has nothing better to do. Marcus warned against this silent trap when he wrote, "Settle on the type of person you want to be. Because if you do not define your value, the world will define it for you, and it will define it cheaply." Take a breath here. Say it with me. Immediate access reduces perceived value. Marcus Aurelius never demanded respect. He embodied it. He lived by principles that still work today. He guarded his time because time was life itself. He delayed availability because not everything deserved an instant response. He said no without guilt because a calm no is stronger than an exhausted yes. And he detached from approval because respect follows self-mastery, not people-pleasing. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Here is something most people never hear. Executives who control their availability are rated over 30% more competent in leadership studies. Not louder, not more aggressive, just more selective. Try this simple exercise for the next 24 hours. Delay your responses by 10 to 30 minutes. Say one calm, respectful no. Keep one promise to yourself even if others want your time. Watch what happens. Because the moment you stop overgiving, something shifts. People listen more carefully. They value your words. They hesitate before crossing your boundaries. Not because you changed them, but because you changed yourself. Marcus Aurelius knew this final truth when he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." Respect is not negotiated. It emerges from self-command. Pause one last time. Say it with me: I choose dignity over approval. You are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to live with purpose, restraint, and self-respect. And when you treat your time as valuable, the world has no choice but to follow your lead. Act 2. Why being too available kills respect. When you are always available, something dangerous happens quietly and visibly and over time. Not in a dramatic way, not with insults or confrontation, but through small, almost unnoticeable shifts in behavior. You reply immediately even when you are busy. You cancel your plans when someone else calls. You say yes even when your energy is gone and your instincts are warning you. At first, it feels like kindness, like loyalty, like being a good person. But beneath the surface, a different message is being sent. A message not spoken with words, but with behavior. And that message is this: my time is flexible. My priorities are negotiable. I will adjust myself for you. People don't consciously decide to disrespect you. They drift into it. Because the human mind is not fair. It is efficient. The brain uses shortcuts to determine value. And one of the strongest shortcuts is availability. Scarcity signals importance. Abundance signals replaceability. This is not philosophy, it is biology. Neuroscience studies show that when access to a person, object, or resource is immediate and unlimited, the brain releases less dopamine, less anticipation, less appreciation. What requires effort, patience, or delay triggers higher perceived value, sometimes by up to 50%. So when you are always there, always responding, always adjusting, the mind quietly concludes, this person costs nothing, and what costs nothing is treated accordingly. Pause here for a moment. Say it with me. People value what they have to consider. Think of a real situation from your life. The friend who texts you late at night expecting an immediate reply. The coworker who drops last-minute work on your desk. The person who never checks if you are available, they just assume you are. They don't see themselves as disrespectful. They see you as accessible. And accessibility without structure removes friction. Without friction, there is no respect. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote in Meditations, settle on the type of person you want to be and stick to it, whether alone or in company. Marcus knew that identity is not what you claim. It is what you consistently protect. And one of the first things people test unconsciously is your boundaries. Not because they are cruel, but because humans are curious about limits. When you don't set any, people keep stepping forward until they hit resistance. If there is no resistance, they keep going. This is how disrespect grows, not from hatred, but from permission. Here is a harsh truth most people avoid. Many individuals who feel disrespected are not victims of bad people. They are victims of overexposure. They are too reachable, too flexible, too accommodating, and over time their presence loses weight. Reset for a moment. Take a breath. Say it with me. Availability trains behavior. Your habits teach others how to treat you. When you respond instantly, you train interruption. When you always say yes, you train entitlement. When you cancel yourself for others, you train disregard. Marcus Aurelius warned against living reactively. He wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In modern terms, this means you are not exhausted because people ask too much. You are exhausted because you never decide when to stop giving. Here is where many people misunderstand Stoicism. Stoicism is not coldness. It is not indifference. It is not pushing people away. Stoicism is intentional access. Marcus did not isolate himself. He chose carefully where his energy went. He understood that self-respect must come before social approval, because approval feels good in the moment, but it erodes authority over time. Psychological studies on leadership confirm this. Leaders who seek approval are rated as warmer but less competent. Leaders who maintain boundaries are rated as more competent, even if they are less liked initially. Respect is not built on constant availability. It is built on consistency and limits. Now here is the moment most people avoid. When you start pulling back, people may resist. They may say you've changed. They may act confused. They may test you harder. This does not mean you are wrong. It means the old pattern is breaking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. Translation: not every reaction deserves your obedience. Let's make this practical. For the next 48 hours, try this Stoic exercise. Delay non-urgent responses by at least 15 minutes. Not to manipulate, but to reclaim rhythm. Say one calm, respectful no without explanation. No apology, no overjustification. And keep one commitment to yourself, even if someone else wants that time. Observe the discomfort, not in them, but in you. That discomfort is withdrawal from overavailability, and it is the first step toward dignity. Because when access becomes intentional, value returns. In the next act, we will break down the Stoic rules that command respect without aggression and how Marcus Aurelius applied them daily, even under pressure, even with absolute power. Stay with me, because this is where availability transforms into authority. Act 3, Stoic rules to command respect. At this point, a question naturally arises. If being too available destroys respect, then what replaces it? Do you become cold, distant, unreachable? The Stoics would say no. You don't command respect by withdrawing from the world. You command respect by governing yourself. This is where Marcus Aurelius offers something rare: power without aggression, authority without noise. Marcus Aurelius never raised his voice to be respected. He never rushed to assert dominance. He never explained himself excessively. Instead, he lived by rules, internal laws that shaped how others responded to him. Let's break them down. The first rule is simple, but uncomfortable. Rule 1, guard your time. Ruthlessly. Marcus believed time was not something you had, it was something you were. He wrote, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility. In modern terms, stop leaking your life into things that do not matter. Every yes costs something. Every interruption fractures focus. Every unnecessary availability erodes presence. Research on cognitive performance shows that frequent interruptions can reduce effective productivity by up to 40%. But beyond productivity, interruptions train others to treat your attention as open property. Marcus did the opposite. Even as emperor, he created internal boundaries. He decided when to engage, when to observe, and when to remain silent. Pause here. Say it with me. My time is not an emergency for others. The second rule follows naturally. Rule 2, delay availability. Instant responses feel polite, but they silently communicate that you are on standby. Marcus never lived reactively. He lived deliberately. He wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Delaying availability is not manipulation. It is alignment. It tells the world I move according to intention, not pressure. Behavioral studies show that people who delay responses are perceived as more competent and more authoritative, even when they are equally kind. Why? Because patience signals control. Reset moment. Take a breath. Say it with me. I respond. I do not react. The third rule is the hardest for most people. Rule 3, say no without guilt. Most people don't struggle with saying no. They struggle with the emotional cost of saying no. They fear disappointment. They fear rejection. They fear being misunderstood. Marcus Aurelius faced constant demands from generals, politicians, citizens, family. Yet he wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Notice what is missing. No apology, no justification. A calm no is a declaration of values. When you explain excessively, you invite negotiation. When you remain calm and brief, you communicate finality. Psychological research shows that brief refusals are respected more than emotional explanations. Not because they are harsh, but because they are clear. Here is a practical exercise. The next time you say no, limit yourself to one sentence. No apology, no story. Observe the discomfort. It is temporary. The respect is lasting. Pause again. Say it with me. Clarity earns respect. Now comes the most Stoic rule of all. Rule 4. Detach from approval. Marcus Aurelius understood that approval is a currency that devalues quickly. He wrote how much time he saves, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks. Approval-seeking traps you in reaction. You begin shaping yourself around expectations that are not yours. The paradox is this: the more you seek approval, the less authority you project. Leadership psychology confirms it. Leaders who chase approval are liked but not followed. Leaders who stand grounded are followed even when they are not always liked. Stoicism teaches that respect is a byproduct, not a goal. You don't chase it. You create conditions for it. Marcus did not ask to be respected. He became someone difficult to disregard. Reset one more time. Say it slowly. I release the need to be liked. Now here is the transformation most people are not ready for. When you apply these rules, people change, but not immediately. Some will resist, some will test you, Some will withdraw. This is not failure. This is recalibration. Old patterns collapse before new ones stabilize. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful." He expected resistance. He was not surprised by it. And because he expected it, he was not shaken by it. In the next and final act, we will explore what happens after the shift is complete. When your presence carries weight, when your silence speaks louder than explanation, when respect becomes effortless. Stay with me, because Act 4 is where dignity becomes visible. Act 4, the transformation. There is a moment that comes after you stop being too available. It does not arrive with applause. It does not announce itself. It arrives quietly. At first, nothing seems different. You still go to work. You still speak to the same people. You still live in the same world. But something underneath has shifted. Your time now has weight, and people feel it. They pause before messaging you. They listen more carefully when you speak. They hesitate before crossing your boundaries. Not because you demanded respect, not because you confronted anyone, but because you changed the rules of access. This is the transformation Marcus Aurelius understood deeply. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." Notice what he did not say. He did not say argue. He did not say punish. He did not say explain. He said be different. Stoicism teaches that the highest form of power is self-command. When you stop overgiving, people begin to recalibrate their behavior. Some consciously, most unconsciously, because humans are always adjusting to incentives. And the greatest incentive is access. Pause here. Say it with me. When access changes, behavior changes. This is why the transformation feels strange at first. Some people will respect you more. Some will drift away. Some will test you one last time. This is not a sign you are becoming cold. It is a sign that old dynamics are dissolving. Marcus Aurelius expected this. He wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful." He did not expect harmony. He expected resistance. And because he expected it, he was not shaken by it. Here is the truth few people talk about. When you stop being endlessly available, you lose access to people who only valued you for your availability. That loss can feel painful, but it is also revealing, because respect does not coexist with entitlement. Think about your own life. The people who truly respect you do not punish you for having boundaries. They adjust. The ones who disappear were never attached to you, only to your access. Reset again. Take a breath. Say it slowly, I am not abandoning others. I am returning to myself. There is another layer to this transformation. Your inner world changes. When you stop reacting immediately, your nervous system calms. When you stop explaining yourself, your thoughts become clearer. When you stop chasing approval, your presence becomes grounded. Psychologists call this internal locus of control. People with strong internal control are rated as more confident, more stable, and more trustworthy even when they speak less. Marcus Aurelius lived this. He wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you are no longer scattered by constant availability, you become centered. And centered people are hard to ignore. Here is something surprising. Respect does not come from being impressive. It comes from being unmovable. When your yes is rare, it carries meaning. When your no is calm, it carries authority. When your silence is intentional, it carries gravity. This is why Stoics valued restraint. Not because restraint looks powerful, but because it is. Let's make this permanent with a final Stoic exercise. For the next 7 days, practice this rule. Do not respond immediately unless it is urgent. Do not explain more than necessary. Do not sacrifice a commitment to yourself for convenience. Each day, write down one moment where you chose dignity over approval. You will notice something subtle. You will feel less drained, more present, more respected without asking for it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is what he meant. Not perfection, not domination, but alignment. Alignment between what you value and how you live. Here is the final truth of this entire message. People disrespect you when you are too available, because availability without self-respect invites erosion. But when you reclaim your time, your energy, and your boundaries respect, has no choice but to follow. Not because the world became kinder, but because you became clearer. Pause one last time. Say it with me. I choose dignity over approval. If this message resonated with you, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so this wisdom reaches others who are silently exhausted. Subscribe if you want Stoic principles applied to modern life. And share this with someone who gives too much and receives too little. Because you are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to live with purpose, restraint, and self-respect. And when you treat your time as sacred, the world learns to do the same. If this lesson resonated with you, like this video, it helps this wisdom reach others. Subscribe to the channel, Making Life Better for more Stoic teachings for modern life. Share this with someone who gives too much and receives too little. And now comment one word that represents what you're choosing from today onward. Type this word in the comments. Boundaries. Remember, you are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to live with purpose and dignity.